Are some people naturally too caring? Are some people, in fact, wired to be too kind? Is kindness always the right answer? Is kindness the name of my stripper? Why am I still asking questions? What's going wrong? My next guest examines all that in a thought-provoking new book that's available now. It's called Cold-Blooded Kindness, Neuro Quirks of a Codependent Killer. I have 32 copies, one for each of my chest hairs. Welcome back to the program, Barbara Oakley. She's an engineering and computer science associate professor at Oakland University, not in California, but in Michigan. Okay, I shortened the subtitle to this because all your books have really long titles. It's read it.
Okay, it's Neuroquirks, well, it's Cold-Blooded Kindness,
yeah.
Neuroquirks of a Codependent Killer, or Just Give Me a Shot at Loving You, Dear,
yeah.
and other reflections on helping that hurts.
I'm sure your publisher was really happy to put that on the book because it's so tiny. Now, what's it about? It's about Carol Alden, who murdered her husband.
Exactly, and she is the most devious person I've ever encountered in my life.
Yeah.
She puts Glenn close to shame.
Really?
As far as, but what she does is she appeals to your empathy, right? Your sense of caring and helping others. Now, my last book was Evil Genes, Why Rome Fell, Hitler Rose, Enron Fell, and My Sister Stole My Mother's Boyfriend. And what that did was it examined really nasty people. And I thought, well, why don't I look at good people, right? Because people kept asking me, well, how come we can understand that Hitler might have had some biophysiological underpinnings that made things nasty for him and for us. But why did the Germans follow him? Yeah. And that's when I started studying pathologies of kindness.
Well, here's the thing. You're right. This is such an interesting idea, and I think that this book is a challenge ahead of them because I think people are scared of this idea that bad stuff happens when people focus too much on doing good. I mean, goes against a lot of other talk show host beliefs. So am I right?
You are exactly right. In fact, I was told by a friend of mine that one of the top scientists at the National Academy of Sciences said, you better be careful with this kind of work because it's going to be opposed by virtually everyone in the scientific field who thinks they're doing the right thing and they don't want people to think there's something wrong.
So what are you saying? Now, you prove this stuff scientifically. Are you saying that we have to, like, I'm really mean to Bill, so am I doing him a favor?
Absolutely.
Great, great.
Well, no. Well, maybe not, because I do like Bill.
Okay.
But the issue is that altruism, we have many very kind people have stripped away all religious perspectives and said, we're just going to go straight to doing good things to help people. Right? So that, in some sense, has made altruism be the new religion. Right? And you can't question the new religion because doing good, well, gee, that's obviously doing good. And so, you know, if you question that, then you must be a bad person.
Can you give an example of how doing good does bad?
Oh, there's a million of them. But let's just say I had a student in one of my classes where she couldn't pay attention to what was going on. I was teaching a class on pathological altruism. And a friend of hers brought in a note, and it said, I can't be here today because my brother tried to commit suicide last night, and I'm in the hospital with him. And so I had a talk with her, and I said, isn't it time to apply some of the ideas of this class? You think you're helping your brother by empathizing with him, but in actuality, what you're really doing is you're hurting yourself because you're being dragged down. She decided to quit school, and she was completely depressed herself, and she clearly wasn't helping her brother, who tried to commit suicide. So by backing off...
But you should help your brother if he's sick. I mean, that would be weird not to go visit him.
Not to visit. But by feeling the same empathetic emotions that he was feeling, she was getting into that same place, and it wasn't helping either her brother or herself. So part of what I talk about in this book is how do you turn... Empathy is not a cure-all. I mean, if you're being mugged, you're not going to stand there and empathize with your mugger. There's times when you want to turn empathy off. But yet, you go into a bookstore, you'll see thousands of books, or go on Amazon, you'll see thousands of books about empathy, kindness. Oh, that will cure everything. But it doesn't.
There's only one of these books. I don't see this as a trend. This is interesting stuff, but we got to move on. You're going to be in New York speaking soon?
Absolutely. I will be on, let's see, July.
August 11th?
August 11th. You know better than I do. at the church, the Unitarian Church in downtown New York here. It's on my website, www.barbaraoakley.com.
Okay. Her Cold-Blooded Kindness book is now available.